Vertebral column, commonly known as the spine, is a remarkable structure consisting of approximately 33 individual bones called vertebrae. These vertebrae are separated by the intervertebral discs, forming a flexible and supportive structure. In this video, we will explore the structure of the vertebral column. The vertebral column is commonly divided into 5 sections, each consisting of several vertebrae. There are 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, and 4 coccygeal, caudal vertebrae. Let's begin by examining the shared characteristics of the different sections of the vertebral column. Once we've established the common features, we can delve into what makes the different parts of the vertebral column unique. The structure of the vertebra. Every vertebra has a basic structure consisting of 2 main parts, the anterior vertebral body and the posterior vertebral arch. The vertebral body. This forms the front part of each vertebra and serves as a weight-bearing component. Lower vertebrae have larger bodies to support more weight. The superior and inferior aspects of the vertebral body are lined with hyaline cartilage and are separated by an intervertebral disc. The vertebral arch. This component forms the lateral and posterior aspects of each vertebra, and in combination with the vertebral body, creates the vertebral foramen. The foramina of all vertebrae align to form the vertebral canal, housing the spinal cord. The vertebral arches have various bony prominences, such as spinous processes, transverse processes, pedicles, laminae, and articular processes which serve as attachment sites for muscles and ligaments. Classification of vertebrae. As mentioned, the vertebral column is divided into 5 regions, each characterized by distinct vertebral structures. The cervical vertebrae. The 7 cervical vertebrae have unique features, including a small body, bifid spinous processes, meaning the spinous process splits into 2 at its lower end, except in C1 and C7. A transverse foramina. And the vertical foramen of the cervical vertebrae has a triangular shape. Certain vertebrae have unique characteristics that are important to recognize. These include the atlas, C1. This is the first cervical vertebra, which supports the skull. It is ring-shaped and lacks a body or a spinous process. The axis, C2. The second cervical vertebra is called the axis because it acts as a pivot, allowing the atlas C1 to rotate, which helps with head movement. It features a large vertical projection called the dense or autonoid process, and cervical rotation occurs through its connection with the atlas. C7, known as vertebra prominens due to its long and prominent spinous process. C7 also resembles a thoracic vertebra. The thoracic vertebrae. There are 12 thoracic vertebrae. What sets them apart from other vertebrae is their unique connection to the rib cage. Each thoracic vertebra features 2 demifacets that allow for the articulation of ribs. On the sides of the thoracic vertebrae's transverse processes, there are costal facets that connect to the shaft of an individual rib. Additionally, the spinous processes of thoracic vertebrae are oriented at an oblique angle. And the vertebral foramen of the thoracic vertebrae has a circular shape. The lumbar vertebrae. The 5 lumbar vertebrae are the largest in the spine and support the torso's weight. These vertebrae have large vertebral bodies and are unique in that they do not have the typical features found in other vertebrae such as transverse foramina, costal facets, or bifid spinous processes, while the vertebral foramen of the lumbar vertebrae has a triangular shape. the sacrum and coccyx. The sacrum is composed of 5 fused vertebrae with facets for sacroiliac joint articulation. The coccyx articulates with the sacrum and lacks vertebral arches. Joints and ligaments. The vertebrae articulate through joints between their bodies and articular facets. These joints are supported by ligaments, including the anterior and posterior longitudinal ligaments, the ligamentum flavum, the interspinous and supraspinous ligaments, and the intertransverse ligaments. To summarize, the vertebral column is divided into 5 distinct regions: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal. Notable variations include the unique features of cervical, thoracic, and lumbar vertebrae, as well as the specialized roles of the atlas, axis, and vertebra C7. Gaining an understanding of the vertebral column structure is essential for appreciating its vital role in the human body.